Welcome to the COMANDOLIN studio. Today, carrying on through our Alfred Beginning Mandolin book, we are on Chapter 2, Lesson 6, Notes on the D string or the third string. We're looking at the D, E, F, and G notes, how to notate them in real notation, tablature. There'll be one exercise that's just those notes, and then one exercise that combines those notes with some of the other notes we've looked at from the previous lessons, and then we're really making some hay here. So let's just jump right into it and get going. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. We'll start here in the open D note, third string. Bring it up on the screen here, and here it is in notation. It's just below the bottom line, you know, the lines that spell every good boy does fine. Well, right below the E is D. So here it is. Of course, in tablature, it's just the open on the line there. All right, so, and then of course we move up 2 frets because everything except E and F and B and C have 2 frets between them. So D to E. Here's E. It's the bottom line of every good boy does fine. Here's E. Of course, it's just notated in a tablature as a 2 on the line there. So E. F is right next to it because E and F and B and C are both right next to each other. So here's F. And of course, here it is. It's the first space. Remember, the spaces spell face. Face. And so here's the F. And then lastly, whoops, let me do that better. Here's the G on the 5th fret. And it's the second line. Every good boy does fine. So the second line is G. So D, E, F, and G. These are the notes we're looking at today. All right, mentioning again here guide fingers and what it's talking about. Just like we've talked about in other lessons about putting our hand in position here and just keeping it still and just certain fingers do for or certain frets. If you put your first finger on the 2nd fret and your 3rd finger on the 5th fret, you kind of get this little shape here where your first finger now can be responsible for every note on the 2nd or 1st fret. Your middle finger kind of covers the distance between these two, so it gets notes on the 3rd or 4th fret. And then your ring finger gets the notes on the 5th, or if you need a 6, you would usually slide that up there, and your pinky would get the 7. But this is like your home base. Technically, this is first position if you were doing this or on a violin. But this way your hand stays still, and you're just doing fingers. Any note here comes from here, you know, this is the 5th. And then your hand moves very little. You need these frets covered, it's just this one. But that's all I was talking about. You just get used to locking into this position, and everything is kind of based around this box of 2nd here and 5th here. So just really hammer that home. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring up the first exercise on the screen here. It's just all quarter notes and half notes, if you remember from our timing lesson a couple lessons back. And this first one is just the notes on the D string that we just looked at. So I'm going to leave it here, pause that for a sec and see if you can work through it, and then we'll break it down. All right, so looking at it here, let's look at the first measure, and it's just 3 notes. And it's in 4/4 times, so it's just going to go 1, 2, and then 3, 4. That last note is the 3, 4. And here comes a plane. I'm gonna let that pass by. All right, there it goes. I live in kind of the landing path of the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. And then I do these in between flights that go overhead. So, all right, let's look at that first measure here. It's D. It's that first note is D. And then F, it's D, F, because it's quarter notes, and then G for 2 beats. So D, F, G, 2, D, F, G, 4. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Because here's our D, here's our F, here's our G. So Second measure, we're walking back down. And it's the same timing, 1, 2 quarter notes, and then 3, 4, that last one. And we're going F, E, D, F, E, D. Again, the fingering, noticing the fingering. So put those two together. You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, looking at the third measure here, starts on F, and these are all quarter notes. It's just going to be a note per beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's F, D, F, E. F, D, F, E. One more time. And the last measure, again, is 2 quarter notes, 1, 2, and the last note, 3, 4, and it's G, E, D. 1, 2, 3, 4. So put those last two measures together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now let's just combine it all. Here we go, we'll do the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time without the counting. I'll count it in and then we'll just play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here comes the last exercise. We're going to combine notes on the D string all the way up to the open E. We're going to be all over the staff, combining the rests that we learned in the last lesson and some of the timings. It's all quarter notes and half notes. And let's see if we can put it all together here and try this one out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen here. And I'll pause like always, and you pause the video and see if you can work through it or take a crack at it. And of course, we're going to go ahead and break it down now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play the whole thing in its entirety first, and then we'll break it down measure by measure, like we always do. So here's what the whole thing sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go ahead and break that down. And now look at the first measure. It's just 4 notes and they're quarter notes, so it's just gonna be on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got an E on the bottom line is E, and then G, that space is A. The next space up is C, because remember the space is spelled face, F-A-C-E, and that's the A and the C. So here's the G, or here's the E. This is gonna fall right into our guide fingers that we just talked about. Here's E. Here's G in the 5th, open A, and 3rd fret on the A. So again, notice the fingering. I'm just down picking everything on the right hand at this speed for the moment. We're just working through the notes. Next measure is B, G, A, and rest for a beat. So you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, but at the 4, don't play anything, but count it. But leave that space there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to put those together, both measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, moving on. Third measure starts on the F, and again, it's all quarter notes, so 1 note per beat. And it looks like it's going to go F, E, D, F. are these 4 notes again. So we're just walking down. F, E, D, F. So 3, 2, open, and 3 on the D string that we just looked at. And the last measure is literally 1 note. It's an E note for 2 beats, because it's a half note there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So stop the note and count the 3 and 4. So you're counting every beat, but you're not playing every beat. So those 2 measures together, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, hey, let's do that whole first line, huh? It's a nifty little tune. We're gonna do it all from the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, great. All right, let's bring up the last line and look at that first measure here. We're walking down from this high E. Because remember the top space, bass, is E, F-A-C-E. So it's E. Let's just look at this measure here. E, D, C, and B. We're just walking straight down it, aren't we? So here's E, opening. D is and again, notice the fingering right here. D, C is the 3rd, and B is the 2nd. And again, it's just 1 note per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next measure is going to be 2 quarter notes and a half note. So you go 1, 2, and then the last note is 3, 4. And it's A. It's going to go, what do we got? A, down to an E, and then F, where it's going to sit 3, 4. So those 3 notes here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do that very cleanly. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, to put those 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Second to last measure here starts on E, and it's against all quarter notes. And it's going to go E, D, E, G, and this is all, from the notes, the string we looked at today. So E, D, E, G, and the last measure is just A. This space is A for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll put those 2 measures together. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, let's do that whole bottom line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, well, there's all the parts, huh? Let's put it all together here one more time from the top, as they say. We'll do it twice. One time I'll count through it, and then one time I'll do it once without the obnoxious counting over the top of it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here it is. I'll count into it, but I won't count over the top of it. One more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's it. Were you able to get it? So feel free to rewind, pause as much as necessary, and work through it. All right, hey, thanks for being a part of the COMANDOLIN studio here. Really appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed this look at notes on the D string. I know most of you have, but if you haven't, be sure to let me know where you are, and then we're talking about that the special white pin on the mat for you. Next time in the book is a look at the eighth note, I believe is the next chapter coming up. But hey, thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.